Attention shoppers, we gotta clean up on Aisle H.
What the other wolves think?
A true crime cleanup on Aisle H.
Diabolical.
Starting now.
Oh, he's telling you that she's bats.
Howdy, holeheads. Kurt Money here, alongside my co-host,
Kateline.
and we are here to talk about a show we've never talked about before and also pretty new. It's called Who Hired the Hitman?
Who did it?
Who hired him?
We don't know.
Now this, I think, is originally an ID Discovery original, but
Investigation Discovery.
there you go. I think it originated on there, but I watch it on HBO MAX.
Yeah.
Is that where you've seen it?
Me too.
This is like a 6-episode show. It's their first season. I'm not sure if it'll come back. What did you think of Who Hired a Hitman overall?
I like it.
I liked it. I like some things about it. One thing I don't like in particular, and it's something they do in all episodes, so I'm wondering, do I do that now? Or maybe I'll wait till later.
Okay.
I suppose. But yeah, I thought it was okay. But here, let me read the IMDb description, and then I'll get your thoughts on the ep specifically. This is The Murder of Big Joe. Aired November 11th, 2025. The midnight murder of a snowplowan. Snowploman. I like that. The midnight murder of a snowplowan puts his friends on edge as their tiny town struggles to root out the culprit. Police find a clue on the victim's forehead that may be the killer's calling card.
Oh, boy.
Okay, what'd you think of Zep? What'd you think of Big Joe?
Big Joe seemed like a lot of personality.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
kind of getting a Chris Penn vibe from him.
Okay. Yes, especially in stature. Like, he was a big effing dude, but he had like a Chris Penn thickness to him.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Like, he wasn't like a fat guy. He was just like a big guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like you knew he had personality. One, we hear about him, and he certainly does. And so do a couple of his friends, which I was working on my impression today. I can't wait.
Oh, boy.
There's one guy in here I was friggin' loving.
Get my boat fixed for nothing, Steve. You take care of me. I said, I don't know, Joe.
But I feel like just seeing pictures of Big Joe, you'd go, oh, this guy's a character. Right?
Uh-huh.
Didn't he look like a freaking character?
This guy knows how to party. This guy
Yup.
probably has some violent tendencies.
Okay, I mean, maybe, possibly. I mean, that's not why I'm celebrating him, but...
But he also looks like the kind of guy who would have jet skis.
Yeah.
And he did.
You know what, though? We don't see him on a jet ski, though. We see him ride a bicycle into the water. This is when they're talking about how he's a fun, goofy guy.
Yeah.
And this is where K-Money's going. I love it. Slow clap for Big Joe. I want to party with Big Joe.
You would. You would.
And he was still dating and stuff, but he was married for 3 years and then never married, never had kids. And that's the road I'm on now, living it up.
Yeah.
So I was like, Big Joe, I get you there too. Okay, so our story begins in West Hartford. What state was this in? Do you remember?
That would be Connecticut.
Connecticut. Okay. And this is December 14th of 2000. Wait, first let's talk about the opening. The title sequence was great. I mean, this is now the third one of a show that's paying for clips.
Yeah.
Or paying for, like, they didn't pay for clips of movies. They paid for, like, a Getty image still from the set of a few movies, which I thought was funny as hell, right?
Do you know which movies?
Of course. Grosse Point Blank and Pulp Fiction. And funny thing was, and of course, those will be coming up later on somebody's list. But the guy had a great burn because he goes, that's what you think of with Hitmen. This was more of a Fargo situation.
This case was more like Fargo. This was amateur hour.
As
Right?
in, they're dumb and sad.
Super dumb and super sad. I mean, wow.
Yep.
There's one thing in particular that they name check in here. I was like, well, okay, we got to do this because it's something we discuss a lot. It's just something we discuss a friggin' lot.
Yeah.
We meet Raymond Colananato. Let's just say Raymond.
Let's say Raymond. I know a few people with Italian last names like that are something multisyllable Colanato type thing, and I can't say their names. If there's an anato at the end, chances are I've given up halfway through the word.
Yeah, and what throws me off is the syllable in the middle. Like, if his name was Colanato, I'd be like, boom, Colanato. But there's a D-O in there.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I don't know what to do with
There's
that D-O.
always a middle syllable that makes it impossible.
Yes, absolutely. So he's got one. And now this is... Okay, every time we meet a talking head, what are they doing, Kate? What's our first intro to every talking head?
Oh, they're holding up
They're writing on it.
like They're writing on like a little whiteboard
Yeah, their name and occupation and stuff.
in their own handwriting.
Yes, and it's basically their lower third information. This to me is the next step in the evolution of shows that start with the clapper.
The clapper, and then the person being like, "Oh, are we rolling?
Yeah, is this it? Am I looking
Is
at this
this it?
camera? Am I looking
Which camera? At you?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Does this bug you like that does? Is this in the same category?
It didn't, because this is how I used to do titles when I made movies as a child.
Oh, okay. Now, as a viewer of true crime, I thought it was a little hack. I wasn't crazy about it, but I like it when people take swings. But as an editor, I freaking loved it because it guarantees I know how to spell the name and what the lower third occupation is. Mm-hmm. Because do you know how many freaking times it's been like 2 a.m. and I'm editing and I'm like, I could export if I knew what I had to call this freaking person right now, but they didn't ask and didn't tell me. Like oh my God, like I so many headaches about that. So in that regard, I like it because you knew that they would ask everybody because they knew they were going to get it on cam.
Yeah.
So, and we see regular lower thirds later as well. I don't know. I guess I'm on the fence. Seeing their handwriting kind of gives you a window into personality a little bit. I mean, I don't have any insights into the ones in these episodes, but I don't know. It was intriguing.
Sure. You can learn a lot about someone based on their handwriting. What would you say your handwriting says about you?
Ooh.
I don't know your handwriting.
It's pretty dope. It used to be way doper when I had to write all the time because I was very into my handwriting. Like, what am I writing in italics today? Am I writing all caps? Like, how am I doing it? I was all about it. I was all about pens and everything. But since typing all day and stuff, I mean, I tried to handwrite in my little notebook. My hand hurts way faster now, and I hate it.
You're a lefty?
So I kind of hate, yeah.
I feel like I would know that you were a lefty just by looking at you.
Ah, wait, really? Right now? You see came on, you go, that guy's a lefty.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Good, honey.
This guy Raymond was the guy that was very calm and very chill and very like matter of fact. And another funny thing about the boards is we talk to brothers in this show. None of them are brothers of our boy, Joe Niwinski.
No.
Not one of them. And that's why the dry erase board kind of helped me out because they're just doing it like friends say they're brothers.
Right.
I feel.
He was a big brother to me.
And that threw me off because they're all saying brother this and brother that.
And then at one point, there's another one of their brothers that's dead. And they're like,
yeah,
he's gone. It's like, well, wait, we're talking about Joe. Why do I care about this other brother?
And was he dead? Because I think his name was Rick. And he's the one that would call once a year and go, today's the day we lost our brother. Not their brother. Now, this was a brother calling his real brother saying, we lost our brother that's not his brother. Right? That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. But then didn't they show a photo and it was like one of them's no longer here?
No. Well, that I don't remember. I think we're still talking about Joe not being there because he said he just called me and he said, "What? You know what today is?"
Man.
That's Steve talking. And that was not my official Steve. Okay? That's not my Steve.
You'd have to take out your teeth. I feel like he had some teeth, but I feel like he had not all of his teeth.
No. I freaking love Steve. He talks like this.
Uh-huh.
This guy.
Yeah, I don't know, Joe.
And he has my God, does he have some killer lines in here.
He also had a really hard time focusing on the camera. He was looking everywhere else.
Yeah.
He was looking around like someone was going to be sneaking up on him.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was doing a lot of leaning forward and stuff. And again, boy, I'm getting in the weeds with editing, but I gotta say it. Sometimes, like there are shows where they shoot on a prime lens where they can't.
This was deep. He could go far back and forward.
Yeah.
It was fine.
So they could roll focus with him as he moved. But I do shows where it's like if the guy moves 4 inches, he's out of focus. They would hate this guy because he was all over the map in there.
Well, the one brother that we meet first,
Raymond.
He was so straight laced,
yes,
and preppy and normal looking.
Yeah, he's who when I was saying he's chill and stuff. Like I can't imagine him raising his voice. Right? He was very just matter of fact. Maybe he says everybody called him Loose, which was funny because he's the only one I ever heard him call Big Joe Loose.
Yeah.
Do you remember this part?
No, I don't, because that's the only time it's mentioned.
Anybody who knew Joe would call him Loose. It would be a deep Loose.
Yeah, it is. And it made sense when I thought it was Joe Lewinsky, but it's Joe Niwinski. So I don't know where the Loose comes from.
Because he's playing fast and loose?
Maybe. He did have a boat and stuff. Joe definitely partied, okay?
He did.
I feel like I would have loved to hang with him. And we meet some of his family members, and they say the same thing, where he was like an awesome dude and stuff.
Joe didn't have any children. He liked partying.
Okay, December 14th, 2000, Raymond, this calm guy we're talking about, he gets home from work and gets a call from Joe's dad. And Joe worked with his dad on landscaping. They had a landscaping company, and then during the winter, he had a snowplow. And he hadn't shown up to plow any roads that day. And his dad was like, we're worried about him. Can you go check him out? And Raymond was one of, 100 people who had a key or knew where a key was.
Dude.
To Joe's house. So he goes over there with his own key, lets him in. He can't hear anything. He goes upstairs, finds Big Joe in the bed, kind of under the covers. What's the status of Big Joe?
Well, he's walking in and he sees him and he's like, Joe, come on, man, get up. You didn't plow. What's up, man? He walks closer, and when he gets up to him, he realizes that Joe has been shot.
Yeah, he's got like a gunshot in or around the ear. So he calls the cops. They show up and they find bullet fragments and little pieces of paper around his head. Mm-hmm. Now, remember those pieces of paper. And then they also found, this is a classic day where I could feel Kate's eyes rolling when they were talking about this.
Oh my gosh. They rolled so far out of my head, you felt them in Indiana.
I did. So go ahead and tell us, Kate, what did they find on his head?
They found a business card for a realty company that was just called Pane Realty, P-A-N-E.
Yep.
And of course, the detective is like, we thought there might be some significance to this. Did someone leave an actual calling card saying that this was painful, like pain?
And somebody had delivered pain to Big Joe. That's
and
what
I
they
was
were
like,
saying.
Nah, dude, like, if
No.
anything, if this card is related to this at all, it's like a clue to somebody at Pane Realty.
Yeah.
Not the literal name of the company.
Look, I feel like the detectives know it's kind of a goofy thing for them to jump on, but they're like, look, we've got to look at all leads. Okay? Like, we had to look into it. But put a pin in that because we don't solve that just yet. But they really, and we see the picture, and the card is directly on his head. I thought for sure it had been placed there.
Yeah.
And again, we'll find out.
I did too. Placed there by someone who was trying to send a message like, look into this realty company, not because I inflicted pain.
Yeah.
It's not even spelled the same.
Maybe the suspect left it as an indication that, I'm going to deliver some pain.
I mean, and these are the same guys that were talking about how it's Fargo and all this. And I'm like, I feel like you are the Fargo cops right now. I mean, the bad Fargo cops. Not
Frances McDormand. No, she's perfect.
Yeah.
From his footprint, he looks like a big fella.
So we talked to Patty, his ex-wife. I liked her. They had married for 3 years, young, and then they remained friends, though.
Yeah.
Did you like Patty?
They got married when she was right out of high school. He was only a few years older. She said that they just kind of drifted apart in those 3 years and had a very amicable split, and they were good friends, and she adored him.
Yeah.
Even after they were married, she thought he was the best.
Yeah. Like, they had known each other. They met when she was 10 and he was 14.
Right.
So, like, they grew up together and stuff. But yeah, she was sweet, and she was saying they wanted her to ID the body, and she's like, no, I don't. I want my last memory of Big Joe to be the one. She goes, the one that's in that picture over there, because that's how close they were. That the wedding photo was still on her wall.
Yeah.
And that was when they had been divorced, and it's still there now. This was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Then we meet Stephen Cola Donato.
A lot of racing, a lot of demolition derbies. That's one.
This is my guy. Good friend, bros with Raymond. This is what I loved, because this Stephen guy is so, like, all over and big personality, and his brother is the complete friggin' opposite.
This Steve guy, he basically looks like he could be like a motorcyclist, drifter type, hanging out at like the VFW a lot, couple teeth, leathery skin, the smoker's voice.
Yeah.
And then
Big
his
smoker
is
voice.
is like the president of a bank.
Yes, an accountant.
They could not be more different.
Yeah, not at all. Like, they are so friggin' different. That is truly when I did all my brother math, or I was like, wait. So Big Joe has 0 brothers. But these two are related. I couldn't get over it. And he said they would go out on his boat and they'd be, I think, fishing or something. But again, we hear that Joe would announce himself by going, Big Blue's here. Big Blue's here.
You know how you know Joe was on the boat? Big Blue, yeah, Big Blue. He'd be yelling, oh my God, he cleared the boat out, right?
Which I'm not sure I get.
No.
But again, fun times.
And
fun times.
So he wasn't loose. He was Big Blue.
I guess. And what? You know what else? I'm saying Big Joe because that's the name of the episode. I don't think anybody called him Big Joe.
Just Joe.
Kate, did anybody call him Big Joe? He was friggin' Joe. Yeah. Well, I can't help it. He's Big Joe from here.
I mean, he's big.
Because I like saying it.
He's a big guy.
Big personality, big dude. Yeah.
Big, large mouth. He had to be noticed. And he was.
Okay, so they look into the Pane real estate. Joe had talked to this dude about some property. It didn't work out, but he took his business card. So that was the connection. Now, they still don't know why it got to his head, but they write this off. It was not this thing. This is not in relation to it. Then they find out that Joe had a girlfriend, and his girlfriend's name was Rosemary. Tell us about Rosemary, Kate.
Listen, I don't know what you're going to say about her, but I love her.
Well, I was going to say that she's a smoked out show.
She is
total babe.
So hot.
Yeah.
In like a Staten Island Italian American.
I was like, she would be one of Ray Liotta's mistresses in Goodfellas or something. That was my vibe with her.
But like hot.
And the way she acted too, but she was, and they talk about how hot she is. How she's tall and leggy and she had lipstick and she'd kiss you like you'd be red all over, he says.
She wear a lot of lipstick, real deep red lipstick all the time. And kiss that broad, you're going to be red all over.
And I get it.
I was into it, man.
Yeah,
I was like,
same.
hell yeah.
Same. Absolutely same. And I was like, Big Joe.
Okay.
Nice.
Good pull,
nice
my man.
Work. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that he could afford her, but
yeah.
Women like that are expensive. And he lived in a studio apartment above a garage where he kept his snowplow.
Yeah, absolutely. And she also had 2 kids, we'll find out. Now, one thing they talk about with her is that, one, they had only dated a few months, which was interesting. Because they kind of had a lot of photos together for only dating a few months.
And we hear about their relationship, how it's like kind of volatile at times. And that implies...
And off and on.
That implies a long amount of time.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't be off and on in like 8 weeks.
Yeah. So maybe Steven wasn't wise to it. He was the one who was like, I think it was only a few months. But you're right. It is kind of hard to be off and on.
It had to be like
volatile.
a year.
Yeah. It had to.
Especially because there are pictures where she was like in a bathing suit. So that's the summer. And he's dying around what month? December. So that's at least like 6 months right there.
Yeah, I would say at the very least they dated 6 months. I think that's an excellent call. So we hear about her. Now here's the part I wouldn't be crazy about personally, is that she was super flirty and stuff. And they were painting it like she would do it to make Joe mad or something. Look, these are all stories we're hearing from Joe's bros.
Right.
Okay? Who knows what the real situation here was?
But honestly, you look at her and you go, yeah, she likes the attention. Yeah. She's flirting with people. Yeah. And like, I'm not even mad about it.
Nope.
And
nope, I wouldn't.
I don't even know that Joe was that mad about it either. Like, they tried to paint him like he would like blow up at her about flirting with these other dudes, but they were still together.
Yeah, and they do make a point that they both would really yell at each other. Like, he was verbally abusive, because they talked to Rosemary a few times. They talked to her at first, and she just says, verbally abusive. And then the cops talked to another friend of Joe's. He treated Rosemary very badly. This was Mark. Now, all we see is one picture of Mark, but that's all it takes. Oh, Liz.
Y'all, Mark, the one and only photo they had of him, his eyes are looking in opposite directions.
This is cartoon level wonk-eyed. I mean, he is. They talk about how he was derpy and stuff too, don't they?
Yep.
They're like, his hair was crazy. He was really short. They called him. Steven goes, I called him Crazy Eyes.
Mark, I call him Crazy Eyes, huh?
And I said, well, Kate's gonna like that one.
Yep, they were crossed severely.
He did have one wandering eye.
And one of them was just straight up pointing the other way. And this show does a thing where, this was another thing this show brings to the table, is when they introduce a character that's a potential suspect, we see them in like a black box theater with a spotlight on like what their job was, looking at the camera, like, is this the killer? Right? Like when they introduced Rosemary, she's like a waitress and stuff, and she's doing all sorts of acting. And the guy they used for Mark, they would really shoot from angles with shadows because he couldn't really do the cross-eyed thing.
He couldn't.
But he would kind of try.
I felt like that actor did a good job of approximating it.
Yeah. I mean, he had Mark also had a mustache as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked cartoonishly stupid, I think. I think he would have fit right in as a straight-up character in Fargo. I mean, I think that the Coen brothers could have used this guy.
And he was cartoonishly stupid, actually.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So Mark tells cops that Joe was actually very violent with Rosemary. And this is when the cops find out that Rosemary was the last one to see Joe alive. The day before the murder, this was so weird. The day before, this is now the second time they're talking to Rosemary. And they bring her in, and she says, yeah, okay, I did see him the day before he died. I'd gone over to his house. We don't know what for. And he didn't answer, so I went out to his room and woke him up, and he was like, what the hell are you doing here? And she's like, I knocked, you didn't hear me. And then they started screaming at each other. He may or may not have pushed her against the wall. She leaves. And then they go out to dinner that night as if nothing happened.
And then they go out to dinner.
Yeah.
I don't know what to believe. I don't know that that's true.
Yeah, I agree. Now, the cops are also suspicious. They're like, okay, let's find out. Now, her alibi checks out in that they did go to dinner and she last saw him at 9 p.m. or something, supposedly. But this is very suspicious right here.
Why wouldn't she be able to be at his apartment? Why would he get mad at her for that? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And also, we find out that at this dinner, I believe, it was at this dinner. It was her kids were with her, and he gave the kids their Christmas presents 2 weeks early.
2 weeks early.
His last words to Rosemary were, have a nice life. Interesting.
So did they break up?
That's what the cops are wondering. And so was this motive? Did Rosemary want him dead? But I would ask at this point, for what?
Right.
What's the benefit? Why would she want him dead? Other than spite. I mean, there's no insurance.
Right. They're not married.
Right. I doubt she wants that garage.
No. And also, if she's unhappy, then she wouldn't care.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah.
If she was mad at him being like, we're done would be a good thing.
Yeah. And I don't want to take anything away from Big Joe, but like we said before, I don't think Rosemary would have been sweating it. I feel like if she would have had no problem going back to the sea and finding another fish, I feel like she's not.
She had them lining up.
Yeah.
There were people waiting for her to get rid of Big Joe.
Yes, absolutely. It's funny because Steven says the same thing about Joe later. He's like, he had the pick of the litter. Why would he use sex workers and stuff?
Why would you go hire some prostitute when you can have any pick of the litter you want? Come on.
And I was like, well, look, I love Joe as much as the next guy.
But pick of the litter?
Pick of the litter, really, though? I mean, reverse that. She had pick of the litter, absolutely. I mean, the way that all the guys talk, I feel like if she wanted to party with either of those brothers, they'd have fallen for it, I feel.
But they tried to act like they didn't care. They tried,
yes,
but come on.
They did. Yeah. I'm glad we're on the same page about her.
Yeah.
Because I was totally on board.
If you didn't like her, I was going to be annoyed.
No, I desperately wanted her to destroy me and stuff, make me crazy.
You wanted her heel on your neck.
Yep. Okay, so this is also, Rosemary also tells the cops that Joe had some shady dealings. He was a weed and a coke dealer. He was a potential loan shark. And this was an accusation the show had fun with, that he wound back odometers. Beep, beep. Car Kate, come on in here. Tell us about winding back odometers, please.
I learned about winding back odometers from Matilda.
I was just going to say that, Kate. Same here. Because we talked about Matilda on this show recently, and I used a clip from the odometer scene.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, that's so hilarious, dude. Same.
20 years ago, we could turn the numbers back by hand. But the feds like to test the ingenuity of the American businessman.
Because I don't know that I've ever heard of anyone actually doing that.
It's got to be a thing with older cars,
yes.
Right? I feel like you probably haven't been able to do it since a car that was an 80s model.
That had physical number gauges.
Well, absolutely.
Because now it's just digital, and in the late 80s they started becoming digital, and there's just no way you could do that.
Yeah. And I love that they say this, then they do some quick cuts. Bravo to the editing team on this. They cut to the friends and the brothers, and Steve is like, "What, the cops tell you that? No. The cops tell you that? No.
The hell saying that? The cops are saying that? No.
And then they cut to Raven, and he's like, to the best of my knowledge, that it never happened.
I was a mechanic for Joe, and at no time did Joe ever ask me to roll back an odometer.
And one is believable, and the other is like, I don't know. Steven knows more than he's saying.
Steven? Yeah. Can I get my eyes on Steven's odometer? Perhaps. So that was hilarious. And then also we find out Joe had told friends he had his tires slashed, a window broken a week prior to the murder. So now the cops are thinking, is it a drug deal gone wrong? Is it a hit? Is it all this crazy stuff? And Kateline and I are here with our arms crossed going, no, it's probably something way dumber. It's probably something way friggin' dumber.
It always is.
Right?
Unless, I was thinking, unless Rosemary, me stereotyping what she looks like, does she have mafia ties? And is this a hit? Someone got wind that their girl had another guy and went up to Connecticut and took him out.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I could see, maybe not even mob connections. It's just she was married or something. Or like, there's another guy who was like, say what now? And they call him Big Joe or Loose or Big Blue.
Not on my watch.
He has a boat? So they bring in Rosemary again. This is now like the third time.
Because they wanted to flirt with her, probably.
Yeah. They were like, should we go ahead and get Rosemary?
Should we call Rosemary?
Yeah. Yeah, why not? Let's get her in. And so she comes in, and we find out that several weeks before the murder, Rosemary and her mom and her sister and her kids had gone to the city to go to a Yankee Candle. I thought this was a fun 2000s era thing to do.
It is,
for
but
the ladies.
Is this how far you had to go just to go to a Yankee Candle?
Well, they were talking about how West Hartford was. Now, I mean, I guess we'll talk about later. I don't know if it was necessarily a super small town, but they were acting like the action was in Hartford, I feel.
Sure, but how far is it?
Yeah, and did they have to go to Boston for this? Like, I don't understand where they had to go. I don't know. But look, I've never searched out a brick and mortar Yankee Candle store.
Oh, we had one
have you, Kate?
2 blocks from the house I grew up in.
Oh my God, seriously?
Yeah. So that's why this is so confusing to me.
It's very funny.
Because it's like back in the 90s, it was just right there.
Yeah, right there. Would you ever go in there for some free smells? Are you a candle partier? Do you party with the candles?
I don't party with candles. I have concerns of burning a house down.
Fire.
So my husband and I have a rule. We do not burn candles unless it's like at the dinner table where we are both right there, and when we clear the dishes, we snuff out the candles.
Yeah.
But I will say I party with scent plug-ins, not Glade, not the terrible grocery store kind.
Okay.
I get the fancy kind.
I didn't know there were fancy plugins.
Controlled by an app.
Whoa. What, to like release more?
Well, you put it on a timer and you alternate scents.
What?
And you can order it from there. It's great. I'm not going to say what it is because we're not being paid for that.
Good. Yeah. Keep that in. But hey, advertisers hit us up. Who knows? If there's any plug-in companies out there, Kateline might be in. Okay, so sounds like a girl's day out. Wrong. Because even though Big Joe doesn't go, who does join them for this little road trip to Yankee Candle?
That would be Mark.
Wonk-eyed Marky Mark.
And I'm thinking, why?
Great cue.
Why the hell is he there?
Why would he be allowed to go?
Because
he'd only known Big Joe for 2 years.
And Rosemary only knew Mark because Mark worked for Joe.
Yeah, and Mark did not work for Joe. Mark worked at the marina fixing boats. And this is when we talk to Steve again, and he's going, I don't know, man. I don't like him. And Big Joe said, yeah, but he fixes my boat for free.
I said, Joe, man, this guy ain't for you, man. What are you hanging with him for? Well, you got the marina, get my boat fixed for nothing, Steve. You take care of me. I said, I don't know, Joe. I don't know, Joe. That guy ain't too slick.
So Big Joe was friends with him because you could fix his boat. So they're nowhere near close enough where if Joe doesn't go to Yankee Candle, I still am like, why was Mark invited? This required multiple cars or something.
It's so strange. It's so strange.
It's so strange. Yeah.
I can't even believe that Mark and Rosemary had met.
I know. But they go on this trip, and I don't know if it's while they were grubbing or something on the road. Everybody else in the back sleep was asleep, but they had bonded, and Rosemary was complaining about Joe and what a terrible guy he was. And
according to Mark.
Yes. Well, wait, Rosemary No, wait. First it was with Rosemary because she admitted, you know what, he did go with us on this trip and I did complain about Joe. And that's when I had said to him, you know, maybe I should have somebody beat him up. Because also, what does Mark reveal to Rosemary? Apparently Mark had hired somebody to keep an eye on Big Joe. Mark confesses that, you know what, I knew he was treating you bad, and actually I hired a private investigator. Turns out he's going into Hartford to get sex workers on the regular. This is what Mark tells Rosemary.
In the car with her children.
Yeah, and what was Mark's alternate plan for Rosemary? You could just do this.
The title of the show. Hire a hitman.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He says, you know what? We could just get somebody to put a bullet in his head.
And she's like, whoa. What?
Yeah. So the cops called this something that I'm going to wait because it's probably on my list.
Kick-ass.
But the cops were very excited to hear this. 2 days after the murder, Mark comes in to talk to police. His alibi was he was working, then went home and watched TV. And I love that the cops say...
Which is not an alibi, by the way.
No, and the cops say as much, but they say something that I can relate to. It's like, well, he lives alone, so it's like, if he didn't do anything... I get that, right? I mean, my alibi for stuff is I was at home watching TV.
There's no way to prove it. Mrs. C can't be a witness.
That's right. She won't testify against me, that's for sure. Spousal privilege.
That's true.
Hang on, I want to make sure I want to get what they said about his place. Oh, here we go. When the cops talk about Mark at first, they go, he was not particularly prosperous. He lived in his parents' basement.
That's a polite way to put it.
Yeah.
I don't think particularly prosperous.
Okay. So they come in. They confront him with this info about this private eye. And he says, look, I didn't say that bullet thing, but I did say the private eye thing. But between you and me, boys...
it was bogus. I didn't do it.
There was no private eye.
But then he admitted that he did tell Rosemary about the private investigator and then revealed to us that there was no private investigator.
To which I said... Yeah, no I'm kind of
dude.
I'm kind of shocked Rosemary believed you. Because you get a look on this guy, he's not hiring a private eye.
He doesn't know how to use the phone.
Hell no. No way.
But she barely knew him. So maybe she was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And then he has more information. Oh, also, detectives. Me and Rosemary had a romantic sexual relationship. Just thought I'd put that out there.
And no one believes
Nobody.
it. Nobody.
Not a soul believes it. Steven goes, dude's so full of shit, man. Come on. Like, people are cracking up at this in the show.
But
right?
cops do put their suspicions back onto Rosemary for a second because they're thinking, okay, Mark is lying to her and saying all this stuff about Joe cheating on her and running around and doing this stuff behind her back. Maybe she believed it and she's mad about it and she got revenge. So they're thinking, if it wasn't her, maybe she hired somebody like Mark suggested, but they think he could have been the catalyst to make her mad enough to do something. That's what they're thinking.
They are, but then the next thing Mark tells them makes them go, I'm not sure we can believe a single word out of this guy's mouth.
Yeah.
Mark says, also, by the way, back in November, we went on a little weekend trip to Maine, and we had ourselves a little love nest. And yet again, everybody's going, no, you didn't, Mark.
No, you didn't, Mark.
No, you didn't. And Steven's reaction is so funny. He goes, and I went out to Mars recently, got some popcorn, and watched a good movie.
And I went to Mars recently, and I got some popcorn, and I watched a good movie. You won't believe that one, will you?
I love that the second two things are very normal things. Like, when he said, when I went to Mars, it would be like, and I brought a supermodel, and then I became president, or
I became president of Mars.
Yeah. It's like, no, I went to Mars and watched a movie.
I mean, you would.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So that was friggin' funny. Nobody buys this.
Nope.
Mark's got to be cuckoo. So they get him to take a polygraph, and we hear our favorite noise. It's just a tool. It's just a tool we like to use.
However, it is a tool to detect deception.
And sure enough, Mark's deceptive, and they tell him this. And because Mark is dumb as a box of rocks, what's his reaction to that?
He goes, okay. Well, there is more that I haven't told you.
And does he lawyer up? No, he does the opposite. He says, cops, don't get me a lawyer. I'm going to spill my beans right here and now. I mean, he straight up does that.
He said, you know what? I'm going to tell you everything. I'm going to tell you everything. I don't want a lawyer.
And it's because the cops use one of their two moves in an interrogation that you love Or are you a cold-blooded killer with no remorse? Which one are you? He fell for it. And he's like, no, I love Rosemary. I did it for her. I did it for her. This is when we find out about Eduardo and Matt.
Eduardo and Matt are these two local kids.
I mean,
They're teenagers.
Yeah.
And Eduardo knows Mark from, what was it again?
From the boat shop at the marina.
Okay. So Mark asks Eduardo, would you ever kill someone for money? And he says, well, how much? And Mark says, well, I don't remember who says what, but basically.
Okay. Edward is like, I mean, for the right price, I'd do it. For the right price, I'd do it. And so Mark's like, okay, well, get your crew together. So he gets his buddy Matt, and they've got a book. They find like a Jolly Roger cookbook or like whatever apparently you could buy it at the time in bookstores.
Isn't it
and the cops were pissed about it.
Isn't it the thing we've seen before? Like the terrorist handbook?
The Hitman? It's one of those things. I feel like we've seen it on FF.
We have.
And FF might have said the title. I wanted to Goog it, but I didn't want to Goog it.
Yeah.
In case I get wrapped up in a murder like a year from now.
You didn't want that Goog history.
I needed a title or something, but we find out that there's stuff in there about how to make a silencer and stuff, and how to make this homemade silencer, which we've seen again is 2-liter bottle over the nozzle, but they stuffed paper towels in there, and the cops are thinking, oh, well, that's probably what those little pieces of paper were at the crime scene. Right?
That's what it is.
Okay, and they go to Eduardo and Joe's, and I forget which of the which they find this, but they find a rifle that's the same kind that was used in the killing.
That's at Eduardo's mom's house.
Right. And they're spilling the beans, and now we finally get the solution to the business card thing, and it could be more of a disappointment.
Nope.
They were rifling through his wallet for the money, and it fell out and landed on his
head. Landed on his head, and they walked away.
Those detectives had to feel so stupid.
So dumb.
That what they thought it could have been. It's like, oh, no, that's dumb. That's dumb as hell.
But is it as dumb as how much money they wanted in order to do this crime, Kurt? What was the right price?
You know what the right price was? You see that broken down snowmobile in the corner of your garage, Mark? Give that to us. We'll call it even.
And dumbass Mark is even like, it's broken though, dude. It needs a new transmission.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's fine. We'll take it.
Yeah. For a broken down snowmobile. Not even a jet ski or something. A friggin' snowmobile.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. They thought they were being smart too, because they were like, no cash, no paper trail. Right? Like they were like, this is just goods for services or whatever. Like they'll never be able to catch us. We'll be in the woods. Snowmobiling
Unless Mark
around.
tells them.
Yeah.
Which he did.
Yep.
I think that is maybe the worst deal we've ever seen on this show.
Yes, absolutely, because...
And by show, I mean this pod. Out of all of the cases we've covered where money has exchanged hands, a broken down snowmobile is the worst form of payment we have seen.
Absolutely, by a long shot, because we've heard of drastically low amounts, like even in the couple $100, but this is the worst because it doesn't even work.
Nope.
They're going to have to pay more money.
They're going to have to pay money to use it.
That's what it comes down to. A broken snowmobile.
This really takes the cake. You're right. Oh my God. Okay, so now before we go to the trial and all this stuff, this is where the show got a little interesting. And then it wasn't interesting because they wrapped it up very, very quickly. But we hear a producer off camera say, what are your feelings about Rosemary? To Steven, the guy who talks like this. And now, interestingly, Kate, producer off mic that was actually off mic, so you know I'm on board, right? Like you could barely hear it and stuff. So I say, bravo.
What are your feelings about Rosemary?
In my heart only, I think that she fueled the fire. She fueled the fire on this.
And Steven says something, she fueled the fire, which I think is a good way to put it. I don't know. Do you think she's involved at this point?
I don't. I think Mark is just really, really stupid. And he was imagining a future with her. Yeah. And she would have no intention of being with him at all. But he thought, if I get Joe out of the picture, I'll have a shot.
Yeah. I think his stupidity and ugliness and wonk-eyedness really helped sell them on the fact that Rosemary was not involved, because there's
no way.
They were like, there's no f***ing way this lady touched this guy. There's no f***ing way. And so we see a chair in silhouette and it's empty. Ooh, what's going on here? Then we hear a recording, and it's a producer saying like, hey, Rosemary, we're outside your house. We've been waiting for 2 hours. Where are you?
Hi, Rosemary. This is the producer with the documentary. I've been outside your apartment for 2 hours, waiting to take you to your interview.
And then we see text, but she did not show up.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wanted to see her.
Oh God, I wanted to see her so bad. For a lot of reasons, but I was like, what's Rosemary look like today? You think she's still banging? I bet she's still banging. I bet she's still got it.
No, I don't.
What do you think? No, Jesus, no.
No, because girls like that, they burn bright.
They burn
real fast, and then it's, next thing you know, they're like an Italian nonna cooking the ziti.
I mean, I got no room to talk. I looked a hell of a lot better 25 years ago, absolutely. But I guess it's for the better that she didn't, because now we only know 2000 era Rosemary.
And I don't blame her for not wanting to do the show. She was like, oh, this isn't a Dateline? No, forget it.
Yeah, one, it's not a Dateline, and two, they never press charges or anything, so if she said something dumb, they could probably still press charges if they wanted to. Because they clear her. And I think it is genuinely because they believe that she would never touch Mark. Because if Mark was not weird looking and stuff, I'd probably still be suspicious of her.
Totally.
Right? I mean,
but he's an actual troll.
He genuinely thought he's like White Knight here. I'm coming in to save the day. So much so that when he finally fesses up, he goes, hey, guys, is it cool if I call Rosemary myself and tell her that I did this for her?
And they're like, no, put your hands behind your back, motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, I assume they did, but they didn't answer it. I was dying to hear them say, no, we spat in his face and said, are you kidding me? Or something. Or better yet, call and we'll record it and this will play great in court.
Call,
right?
And she's not going to answer because she doesn't like you.
Yeah.
I bet that's what happened.
Yeah, or Mark who?
Yeah.
Oh, that guy I went to Yankee Candle with 3 months ago. Oh my God. Okay, so they go to trial. The two kids do. Eduardo's no good. He's cocky. He's laughing in court. He's a real POS.
He's kind of got a record.
Yeah. But this other guy, Matt, was younger and he was like a little kid. And like the family of Joe were all like, they felt for him, right? Because he came to court crying and wrote a letter saying, like, apologizing to the family and stuff.
And it sounds like Eduardo kind of did most of it and he was just along for it because he got roped up into the whole thing. But he was so much younger and he had recently, we hear from his sister, and in later teen years, he had kind of fallen in with the bad crowd, which is where he got to know Eduardo. But he was all in all like a relatively good person.
Yeah, and we do find out, like, they were both pointing the finger at each other, but they find a full palm print on the rifle from Eduardo. Mm-hmm. So it's safe to say that Eduardo pulled the shot. Now, he got the death penalty, which was overturned eventually, so now he has life in prison with no parole. But Matt, the kid, got the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Prison with no parole. And even like the nephew of Big Joe is going, is that fair? I don't know.
It's not. We've seen way lesser sentences for worse crimes. Why couldn't he just get 30 or something?
I absolutely agree. And I'm shocked that even with him agreeing to testify, that he didn't, not even the option of parole. Honestly, I feel like he could go, I had a terrible public defender. Like his lawyer should have gotten that for him in that moment. But on the other hand, he did do this willingly. And as we see here, like, they're still broken up about it. Like, Big Joe was a loved guy. It's 25 years later. They're still sad and crying. Like, it sucks for him, but I'm kind of like, I'm not going to fight for you, dude. Sorry. What do you think? You still feel bad for him?
I just think it's a very harsh sentence. Now, granted, if this never happened, we don't know if he would have continued on that bad path or if he was gonna pull a 180 and change his life and turn it around, but we'll never know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
did this prevent worse criminal actions later on, or did they really just put a good kid in prison for the rest of his life?
Yeah, I don't know. I would have, if I heard people were trying to get him out earlier and stuff, I'd be like, I get it.
But it sounds like they're not.
No, and I wouldn't sign a petition to do it, I don't think. But it is insanely bonks that he got life with no parole, especially after the death penalty was overturned. Because that guy got death penalty 45 years and 3 months. Uh-huh. That's what Eduardo got. And they're in there for the same amount.
And then we hear about people who rape and murder and like hurt children, and they get like 10 years probation.
Kate, what I just texted you about the other day, the warrior gene defense.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, actually, I'm going to leave that in here. That's a tease, hold heads. We might talk about that up someday because I think that made my list. But that was infuriating.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about what that could mean. The warrior gene defense. Like there's, okay, blood's boiling. Now I loved this. Raymond gets the last word. He's the quiet guy. And he's saying, you know, it's taken 25 years to bring us back, but Joe brought us back and we're talking about him. And he pulled us back again for this, quote, documentary. Now, okay, you know where I'm going with this.
It's not a documentary, dude.
It's not a documentary. And do you think they just told him it was?
Maybe. And maybe Rosemary found out, oh, that's not a documentary. That's it's a cable show. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. It's one episode in Who Hired the Hitman. And why can't I say the name of the channel? Discovery ID. Like that's so clearly a run-of-the-mill crime show.
Uh-huh.
Like, you're right. She's probably like, there's no AC in sight. This isn't a Netflix joint. Like, they're trying to fool me with this chair and shadow, because she signed the release. She signed the release, and it said, like, you know, ID channel production code episode 604. She's like, I'm out of here.
Nope.
God, that cracked me up when he said documentary. I was like, oh, dude. Nope. Oh my God, that was so good.
But Joe Niwinski has pulled us all together again by this documentary.
Okay, all right. Well, I think it's about time for those lists. Kate?
Kate's unnamed list. Well, Kurt, somebody was talking, and then they started crying.
Yes.
And they stopped, and they said, I'm sorry.
Yes.
He was just a kind soul. I'm sorry.
Well, it made my list.
Count it. Okay, is that all you got?
That's it.
On to Kurt's Kick-Ass List.
Kick-ass list.
I've got a few. First off, right up top, Hitman from the movies, Grosse Point Blank, Pulp Fiction. Kurt's Kick-Ass List.
Welcome.
Okay?
The idea of a hitman is a long-time trope of the movies. You've got John Cusack and Grosse Point Blank. You've got the guys from Pulp Fiction.
And then also, what reminded me this is so new is they said even most recently Michael Fassbender in The Killer.
Even more recently, Michael Fassbender is The Killer.
I was surprised that got a shout out.
Yeah.
Right?
That was a very boring movie.
I kind of liked it. I liked it. I feel you weren't crazy, but I've only watched it once. But you know what's funny is they didn't pay for Getty Images production still from that. Is that because it was on Netflix?
Maybe.
Because it was a Netflix joint. Okay. And then they said Fargo, Amateur Hour, very funny. Guess what? That's on the list as well.
In this case, was more like Fargo.
There was talk of struggle and lack thereof, but they did not say signs of a struggle.
Was there a struggle?
So you know what that means. It's not really signs of a struggle.
I wouldn't say that's a sign of a struggle.
That's my Tom Hanks. Okay.
No.
And also, I'm not done because when we heard from Rosemary that Mark said maybe somebody should put a bullet in his head, the detective goes, that's what we call an aha moment.
Oh.
Welcome to the list.
Boo, boo, boo.
That's an aha moment.
Yep. And hey, my boy Steven, because he's up there on Mars getting popcorn and watching a good movie. Welcome to the list. Huh?
I got some popcorn and I watched a good movie.
And I believe I got one more. Yes. Oh, my God, we didn't mention this. Eduardo, for some flippin' reason, carved the name Joe into the bullet casings and the bullets of even ones that were not fired, if I'm not mistaken.
He did, because they found them at his mom's house, too.
Idiot. I mean, he's the guy where it's like lock and throw away the key. Like, he's clearly, if he wouldn't have killed Big Joe, it would have been somebody else. Like, he doesn't give a shit about this.
He was just waiting.
Carving the names into the bullets.
And
wow,
poorly.
Yeah, we see him. And there were multiple. And it looked insane. And that's what they had their Eduardo actor doing in the Black Box Theater spotlight shot, is him sitting on a bed going, J-O-E. But so the cops say Eduardo's trying to be Hollywood. That's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Hollywood idea of having a bullet with someone's name on it, but in this case, Eduardo Santiago made it very literal.
So that's Kurt's Kick-Ass List. Pretty busy list today. And I think that brings us to the end. I thought this was a fun time. I mean, the crime, not a lot of mystery and stuff. as soon as we saw Wonk Eye show up, I mean, I feel like we both knew who was responsible.
We both knew, but it was still a fun ride, and
Yeah.
Rosemary's a babe, and
Yes.
the snowmobiles are hilarious.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It was interesting, the things they did to try and separate this from other run-of-the-mill true crime stuff, to make it feel more like a documentary, but it wasn't. But they were trying. And you know what I mean? Like, they were really friggin' trying. Oh, the title sequence, I think, looks good, too, because it's like, it's got the red string that, you know, you use on, like, a crime board.
Right.
But they're using it to puppeteer, like, a gun in a puppet's hand, because it's who's the one pulling the strings of the killer.
Right.
I like this. I liked all this symbolically. So, that's it, Kate. You got anything else to say to the Holt heads?
Nah.
This is our last record of 2025. Who knows what the new year will bring? Hopefully more than 100 people who listen. That's not going in.
Well, Happy New Year, Holt heads.
That's right. And on that note, I'm Kurt Money.
I'm Kateline.
I don't know, Joe.